Franky Lee Singleton, boatswain's mate, second class. I go home on boot camp leave, which was two weeks, 14 days. Wanted to stay as long as I could, but the ship I was on was stationed in San Francisco, and it was in the yards, where they were working on the ship, and it was underneath the Bay Bridge. But anyway, I think I leave Nashville at 5 in the afternoon, and I said, that's ample time to get to San Francisco. Anyway, on the way out, we have a delay. So I'm watching my watch, and I knew it was getting closer and closer. I had to be aboard ship at 12 o'clock at midnight. And it was getting close and close. I said, well, we're going to lose 2 hours, so we'll be all right. Well, the plane was late leaving, and I think we arrived in San Francisco like at 11:45 or something, so that surely I'd be late to get to the ship. Well, I told the stewardess what had happened. I said, look, I'm coming back off of boot camp leave, and I'm going to arrive at my ship, and I'm going to be late. Can you do anything for me? And she didn't tell me. Well, she said, well, let me check into it. Never got back to me or anything. Well, what she does, she goes to the captain and tells him that my situation, and I'm thinking what he did was he either contacted the ship, or he contacted the airbase or the airport. They contacted my ship, but when I landed, I go and I sat down and I'm looking around, and there's nobody there that's from the ship that I thought. And then I see this officer walking up, and his name is Mr. McLean. He walks up to me and he says, what are you in? Or are you Franky Singleton? I said, yes sir, I am. He said, well, come with me, I'm going to take you to the ship. I didn't think anything about that, but that was a full-fledged officer coming and picking up. I was an E2 at the time. You know, I thought that just happened every day. I didn't find out later till they actually sent an officer. I don't know if they told him I was an officer or what, but they did send somebody to pick me up. So it was American Airlines. So it's the only full-fledged ship I say I was on, USS Okanogan. But I enjoyed it. I was a boot, and I was lucky because there was a gentleman or a young man on the ship that took care of me. I was assigned to boat group, which I didn't know what was, but anyway, when I get to the ship, which is after midnight, they assigned me a sleeping berth, which is down, what we call is where they carried Marines, which was way down low in the ship. And I got aboard the ship, and it was just tore apart, and I thought, oh no, what have I done, you know? But I slept, and then the next morning there was a boatswain's mate come in, which that's what I am. He was a second-class boatswain mate, and he comes through and he's holding reveille, and it's about 5 in the morning, and they had to get up and clean the ship up before everybody else got up. But anyway, he comes walking through. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but he comes walking through, and I'm sleeping on my stomach. He pats me on the butt and he says, look son, I'm going to let you stay in here and sleep a little longer, but I'm going to take care of you out at sea. So I said, oh my goodness, I didn't know. But, and I remember his name. He was boatswain's mate second class. He was in charge of 2nd Division, good guy. So, and then we get on the ship, and it's just tore apart. But I met a young man that I worked with, and we were chipping paint. That's taking a air-driven machine, and it chips paint off the deck. And we worked together. He worked real well. We both worked real well together. And he was from Mobile, Alabama. Me being from Tennessee as a Southern boy, so we hooked up real good. And then when we went on a cruise, we hung together on the cruise. And later on, when I got married, he was the best man in my wedding. Well, we didn't hook, and I'm out of the service now, and we didn't hook up for about 40 years later. We happened to move to Mobile, Alabama, and my wife had been texting and checking on the internet to see if she could find Blaine Former. Couldn't find him. It was 2 years past, and one afternoon we're watching football on TV, and her phone rings, and she gets a message, and it's Blaine, and he had accepted her as a friend, and we got in touch with him, to make a long story short, and went to see him when we had a reunion in Boise, and he had became a welder, and he was more or less in a wheelchair because his lung capacity had really gone to nothing. So.